Welcome to another Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin, and today I'm going to expand on a theme that I shared a single banknote of recently. I recently did a banknote from the Congo on coffee, and I had a bunch of other notes in that category, and in some of the groups that I'm a member of on Facebook. Among other things, coffee has come up as a theme, and I thought, well, I better share mine before they think I've derived this from their research. So let me get started with a little bit about what I found out about coffee. Coffee became increasingly popular in the U.S. after the Boston Tea Party and the colonists' rejection of Britain, their taxation, and the king. And so that's why we like coffee way more than tea in the United States. Go figure. I found out that Wikipedia had a lot of fascinating information to say on the topic, so make sure you go there and check it out. I did find out that coffee is one of the world's most popular hot drinks, and that while it is popular as a hot drink, iced coffee has become more popular. And I'll be honest with you, folks, iced coffee is how I fell in love. I did love the coffee vending machines in Korea, but then I also fell in love with the iced coffee in the summertime. I was hooked. There is evidence from the 15th century that Yemen consumed coffee in a way that the modern world would recognize, and that they did get it from Ethiopia. In modern times, Brazil has produced most of the world's coffee, and for a crop value of billions of dollars annually, the coffee farmer is a rather impoverished person. The word coffee entered the English language in 1582 by way of the Dutch word kofi, who borrowed it from the Turkish kahve, who borrowed it from the Arabic kahwa. The name of the coffee bean is bun in Arabic, and I wonder if that's why here in the U.S. you can see Bun as a manufacturer and source of coffee and coffee equipment. Once upon a time, Pope Clement VIII in 1600 declared that it was a Christian drink. Over the outcry to ban this Muslim drink, there was no stopping its popularity after Pope Clement made it Christian. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these notes. These are by no means all of the coffee notes that exist out there, but these are the ones that I've had pulled aside from my collection for quite some time. First one I'm going to share with you is from Rwanda. It is a 5,000 franc, and you can see the lady with coffee beans on her head, the field of coffee beans, the people picking the coffee beans. Here's a coffee bean plant over here. I wonder if the berry tastes good, because most of the time they dry the berry and then we're eating or we're drinking the ground center of the berry. The next note I'm going to share with you is from Uganda. It is a 10 shillings, and the coffee theme is on the back of the note. Can you see the coffee? We have fishermen and animals, and up here we have coffee berries. How about that? Moving on to Guatemala. I love the themes on Guatemala, and if you haven't taken the time to look at some of my other Guatemalan theme notes, please go through and watch some of the other 180 plus videos that I've done for this channel. If you see the beautiful quetzal on this side, and on the back side we see the lovely scene of harvesters of the coffee crop. In fact, in Spanish here in the bottom left-hand corner it says corte de café. Next we have I always thought this, at first blush was a Venezuelan note because it has Simón Bolivar. But Simón has appeared on the banknotes of many different nations, and in this case, it is a Colombian banknote. And Colombia is famous for Juan Valdez. Many Americans grew up watching coffee commercials with Juan Valdez picking his coffee beans in Colombia. And I assume that's him right there in a colorful scene harvesting coffee berries from a coffee plant. We're going back to Uganda, and unfortunately this is from a series that has Idi Amin Dada on it. He was a very horrible man in my estimation. And on the back for years, I thought this was a kid picking grapes. And then I thought one day, wait, those leaves don't look a thing like I know a grape leaf to look like. And I discovered I'd been wrong all this time. And folks, I can be wrong from time to time. But I hold myself to a high standard, so when other people are wrong, Don't be surprised when I hold them to a high standard. Ask me about that sometime. I don't want to be political in a video, but I have my moments. This banknote is from Yemen, and I think it's fair that since, they popularized the drinking of coffee, that I would have a note from Yemen. Here we go. It's a no person note, but it is a group of coffee plants, and then you can see right here on the right end of the note some berries ready to be picked right there. The coffee from Yemen grows in grounds and temperament or temperatures that are not conducive to lushness. So the coffee from Yemen can be a little bit more pricey than it is from other places. I'd shown you a 5,000 franc. Here's a 2,000 franc from the same country, Rwanda. And on the back of the note, one of the more interesting notes I have, it is a banknote that shows a whole bunch of coffee beans. And when I worked at a bank, guys, I actually, on end of the month and end of the quarter, because I worked in the computer room, used to process accounts. And I would go upstairs to our break room, and I would get handfuls of these, and I would actually chew on them. They tasted bad, but I just figured that's what coffee was supposed to taste like. But it kept me awake all night, which was really all I needed it for. Let's move to Brazil for this next coffee note. We have a 50 Cruzeiros, and here on the back we have, folks, it says embarking de café, and it's at a port, and those are bags of coffee beans that they're getting ready to ship out. Fascinating. Related to Portugal is the country of Angola, a fellow colony of Portugal. And we have Camoas on the front, and on the back we have coffee. If I'm going to have to listen to some Camoas, I'm going to want some coffee. And here we have a very stylized coffee plant with coffee beans. Let's move back to Costa Rica. This is one of my top 10 banknotes. Most people have a top 10 list of things, and one of the neat things about banknotes is you can have a top 10, and it doesn't have to be very expensive. And this is one of those. This hits several themes for me. I love the flower on the front, and on the back, that colorful display of a market scene is one of my favorite vignettes on a banknote. This is an allegory of the National Theater, and you see there's folks with bananas looking at you, breaking the fourth wall. There's people bending over. There's people looking at products. There's even some cows there's cows in the background. I wonder if I put this in my cow video. There's steamships in the background. There's boats. But here we have coffee in bags and other products in boxes getting ready to go on board the ship. So it may be small, but it is there. We're going to go to back to Africa, to Kenya, for the next coffee note that I'm going to share with you. This is a 5 shilling, and on the back of the note, beautiful, stark in its beauty banknote with a volcano. And yes, that is an extinct volcano. You don't need to correct me because I'm right. And then we have a field here, and I'm assuming this field is alluding to the product that you see up here, and coffee beans being harvested by a farm worker. We're going to stay in Africa and move to Tanzania, a neighbor of Kenya. And we have a note that I like because it has a giraffe and it has a zebra on the front, and on the back, I'm guessing there's coffee. What do y'all want to bet? Yes, coffee. I don't know that that's coffee there unless the trees in Tanzania are way bigger than other coffee plants. But over here, we have a colorful group of coffee plants and berries. We're going to close out with a country that has some unexpectedly delicious coffee. If you are ever able to get some Blue Mountain coffee from Jamaica, it's truly a delicious delight. And I'm sitting here looking at the back, and I'm like, I'm not seeing coffee, I'm seeing bauxite. So let's go back to the front and see if there's some coffee that just hid from me on the front here. Y'all see coffee here? I am not seeing coffee. I wonder if I just put this on here because I like the idea of the Jamaican Blue Mountain. Maybe coffee is part of the little things we see over here. No, I don't think so. Folks, I may have made a mistake. and included a banknote that didn't need to be on here. If I did, I don't apologize, because it gave me the opportunity to share with you coffee on a banknote. And I'm going to be very clear with you that coffee helps the people survive my temper sometimes that I might have. I am Benjamin. If you have not decided to subscribe or like my channel, please do so. Recommend it